Installing an FTD is actually pretty easy when you use the right technique. So today we're going to go through some of the techniques that we use and hopefully make the installation easier for you. We'll be using a tire stand for the installation procedure, but if you don't have one of these at home, a simple 5-gallon bucket works just as good. Before installing your FTD, do a quick inspection of your rim tape. Look for any nicks or cuts and make sure you have edge-to-edge coverage with the tape inside of the rim. If in doubt, just replace it. Once you're sure your tubeless tape is in good condition, go ahead and install the flat tire defender valve that comes supplied with your kit. I like to mount up the tire on the rim with no sealant and no FTD first. That allows me to check the seal on the valve, check the seal on the tape, and also makes the installation easier by having one side of the bead mounted. So if you look at your insert, you'll notice there's a seam where the flat tire defender sticker is. We usually put that opposite the valve. Okay, I start opposite the valve and just slip the insert into the tire, a little bit at a time. Go until you get about 3/4 of the way and leave this much exposed. Once you've got the insert roughly 3/4 of the way into the tire, you want to start with the tire bead. I do this by hand initially and then use my tire levers toward the end. Okay? So to start with, just push the bead over the edge of the rim, a little bit at a time. As you go, you can use one hand to push the bead on and the other hand to push the insert the rest of the way into the tire. One thing that's really important in this installation or any tire installation, when you get to this point and the bead starts to get tight, you want to make sure that the bead on the opposite side is pushed into the center of the rim. If you notice how it popped down there, that's going to give you a lot of slack toward the end to get the tire mounted through. In the kit, we've included a cable tie. If you're having trouble keeping the tire into the center of the rim, just wrap that cable tie around the tire and tighten it up, and that'll help keep it pushed down. Next step is to push the insert the rest of the way into the tire. You can use your thumbs for this. Just hold one bead with your thumb and push the insert in with your other thumb. And the way that it's shaped, it should just pop right into place. Just like so. Okay, once you've reached this point in the installation, when you want to pour your sealant in, we recommend 2 cups, and you can use whatever sealant works for you. Just pour it right into the tire. And because the bead is still mounted on the other side, when you turn it over, the sealant won't leak out. Now you're ready to finish installing the bead. You'll need a couple things here. First off, we use a little bit of soapy water or even just straight dish soap on the bead to help lubricate it and help push it into the rim. You'll also want a set of good plastic tire levers. The plastic levers are less apt to damage the rim tape and they're nicer on your carbon rims. And just take a little bite at a time and work your way toward the valve. Also remember to keep pushing the bead down into that center well. Now that we're here at the end, right at the valve, should pop right on. Last step, go ahead and air up the tire as you normally would, checking around the edge of the rim to make sure the bead is properly seated. We recommend leaving the tire at 30 to 35 psi initially to make sure that everything is sealed and seated properly. Maybe go ride the bike around for 10-15 minutes, and then once you're ready to get out on the trail, set your pressure roughly 10% lower than you normally would and experiment with from there. You may be able to get away with going lower than that, but give it a shot and see how it goes.